Good evening, I am Melissa Khan with our Friday, October 2nd edition of News in Depth. First up, COVID-19 is a threat to national security, says Prime Minister.
The Guyana Defense Force will deploy no less than 500 troops to assist the Guyana Police Force to enforce the new COVID-19 measures announced by the government. That announcement was made by Chief of Staff Godfrey Best at the launching of Operation COVID Curb at the Otter Chung Conference Center on Thursday afternoon.
In this whole of government intensified approach, on the relief and enforcement side, the Guyana Defense Force will be collaborating with civil society and citizens across all regions and sub-regions to educate and encourage all Guyanese to adhere to the national COVID-19 regulations. This engagement will in fact be in the form of joint services effort. The GDF will deploy no less than 500 troops alongside relevant stakeholders and partners, and we will interface with citizens utilizing a soft, cogent approach to ensure that citizens wear masks and wear them properly, practice social distancing, adhere to the restrictions of social events and curfew timings.
Commissioner of Police Acting Nigel Hoppy said the new measures that are in place are to ensure that persons and the country as a whole are safe from this pandemic.
The Guyana Police Force is in the front line in the fight against this COVID-19 virus in the country in terms of enforcement of the regulations as stipulated in the emergency measures. Towards this end, the Guyana Police Force, in a community-minded approach, will initially embark on a continuous public education and advisory campaign in order to sensitize members of the public of their individual responsibility in this matter. The approach, as identified by the Chief of Staff, take effect Thursday today and will see members of the joint services, which include the Guyana Police Force, along with other key stakeholders working assiduously in this combined effort throughout the country. It is my sincere hope and expectation that our efforts will be effective in contributing to a decline in the COVID-19 statistics in Guyana. And I just want to call on all to adhere to these measures. Thank you.
On Thursday, Prime Minister Mark Phillips announced Operation COVID Curb at the Otter Chung Conference Center. He said COVID-19 is a threat to national security.
COVID-19 is a threat to national security right now in Guyana. That is how I want everybody, and that's how we want everybody to look at COVID-19. It is a threat to our survival as a people. Is it a threat, therefore, to our national security? And that's why we have to adhere as a people to these measures. If we want to remain as a country, as a state known as Guyana, all of us, all hands on board, must play a role in curbing the spread of COVID-19 in Guyana. It is a threat to national security.
Speaking on the adjusted curfew hours from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m., both the Prime Minister and the Health Minister, Dr. Frank Anthony, said what is happening to people's livelihood was discussed before the implementation of the measures.
We want to achieve a curb in the spread of COVID-19. The reality, people has to live, right? They have to get food, they have to get water, people want to go to work, okay? And we have to find the right balance. You're aware that because of COVID-19, a lot of people would have lost their jobs, okay? So people still have to have some form of economic activity going for them. We still have to eat, the farmers still have to farm. The fishermen still have to bring in fish. Okay? So we have to strike the right balance where people could have an opportunity to conduct their normal activities, but at the same time, observe the measures.
And you have a whole list of things here. So what we are trying to do is to have a balance between protecting lives and also livelihoods. And that balance, we feel that if we increase or reduce the hours of curfew, that people can be allowed to carry on with their economic activity, but under the rules.
There's a demand for the reopening of the airport, but that will not happen until the 12th of October, and protocols will be put in place, the Prime Minister said.
More news after this break. Stay with us.
Shh. It's your new secret. The all-in-one weapon for perfecting imperfections and capturing flawless skin. A lot of brands forget women of color or just don't understand that we come in all shades. From caramel to ebony, there's such a range. Iman Cosmetics is for every woman and features a line of skincare products and cosmetics including 16 foundation shades, powder, concealer, lipstick, blush, eyeshadow, highlighter and BB cream. Visit us at Lot 75 Swamp Section, Rosal Town. That's behind the market. Or call 337-4422 or 688-9249. Shh.
Karibi rice, from the lush rice fields of Guyana, straight to your home. Karibi rice, our people, our rice.
Welcome back. The online school project by the Ministry of Education is not reaching the homes of everyone, and some parents are frustrated. Here is that report. Some parents of Rosal Town said not having internet access for the Ministry of Education homeschooling is not helping their children. The parents added that them being unable to receive their children's work on time is one of their biggest problems.
Bad, because she don't have internet, she don't have nothing properly, and we don't have a proper home phone. And we got nowhere to go. So she just stay home only and she just take she book one time. But she can't really know really what going on in school because the teacher said she can call, but the phone give problem.
It's in all alright because I don't have internet, and for the sometimes I just gotta go right from here, go till over by mommy them because they get the internet, right? And then come back, then give them the work. When the teacher send work, you can't really know whatever the teacher send, right? You can't know she response. You gotta wait next day because you can't go and come steady. So whatever me gonna collect, you understand? I give them, then the next day I go back for here where is the teacher comment with what the explanation for the work that she sent and so on. So it's hard, but gotta try.
Me get phone, me get Wi-Fi, nothing for them can't get contact with the teachers or whatever. But the big sister can help them home. They must try and do it what she can able to help them.
The parents are still determined to educate their children even though COVID-19 has kept children out of the classroom. Melissa Khan, News in Depth.
Range. Iman Cosmetics is for every woman and features a line of skincare products and cosmetics including 16 foundation shades, powder, concealer, lipstick, blush, eyeshadow, highlighter and BB cream. Visit us at Lot 75 Swamp Section, Rosal Town. That's behind the market. Or call 337-4422 or 688-9249. Shh.
Karibi rice, from the lush rice fields of Guyana, straight to your home. Karibi rice, our people, All Rise.
And before we go, Morgan's Learning Center is shining brightly once again after another successful year at the CXC exams. More in this report.
Morgan's Learning Center is shining brightly once again after another successful year at the CXC exams. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the school rolled out its e-learning platform to ensure that the students remain in the classroom. Shadi Manoras wrote 14 subjects and secured passes in all. Neil Cadogan also passed the 14 subjects he wrote. Warren Daly was another standout with 13 subjects. Christophe Bassard, Alwyn Hoppy, Trissel Williams, Trissel Carter, Macy Maynard, and Ali Chetty all excelled, passing more than 10 subjects.
It was a challenge because I picked up some late, but with the motivation from the teachers and my peers, I coped well.
The unique teaching and motivation from Sir.
Because of Sir Morgan's help and dedication to his students, the exam wasn't really that much of a challenge, to be honest.
It was a lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, a lot of commitment, the early mornings and the late nights in the beginning, but it all paid off in the end.
Very, very, very challenging. The only way I would have passed if God went by my side. It's coronavirus. We were so isolated that we couldn't really be in contact with our teachers, so it makes us harder to learn and to be up to date with everything.
Some of the students transferred from Mays Secondary, St. Stanislaus College, St. Rose's High School, and North Georgetown Secondary to MLC. For the students, schooling at Morgan's Learning Center is fun, and the environment is very competitive.
I'd say engaging and offers more attention to the student. Because if I go to the teacher and ask them, can you tell me something about this subject, they'd be more than happy to give me that extra push.
It was very challenging, but you had to have a lot of motivation. Sir Morgan helped a lot with that.
I was very competitive who want to beat everybody. That is all the motivation that you need to conquer the exam and do great. Especially with the motivation from teachers, just your colleagues being very competitive. That's the motivation you need to just say, I can do it.
Oh, my parents was so stressed out because after I have left school in March, and they are saying that what's going to happen to me with the CXC and so on. But so thank God to Sir Morgan, who has given me an online classes and so on.
Pardon? 12 subjects? Yes, and I got 10. Yeah. It was a bit challenging, but I'm thankful for Sir Morgan and the other teachers among me. And I got through, and I was well prepared for it.
Some of the parents were elated with the success of their children.
I always have faith in Christophe. I know that he would have done excellent, but he needed that little push. And being away from him for 6 months, preparing for the exams, I had no other choice but to turn to MLC. And that is where Sir Morgan and his team came in. And I'm just thankful.
Well, I've had 2 of my daughters attend his lessons in John Street. So her being here was as a result of the introduction of the 2 girls who performed very well in their exams. And so knowing what they did at the lessons, I said being a school, it would be even better because they're here most of the time. And so that has pushed me to enroll her here at Morgan's Learning Center.
He studies a lot, and his ambition is to be a doctor. So when a child wanted something, he tends to work for it. So most of his time he's with his book and thanks to Morgan Learning Center, that they always get a fear that if he don't do his work, he will have to come in the assembly and Mr. Morgan will rebuke him. So that drive with itself, myself and my wife and sister, his sister, he always encouraged him to.
Morgan's Learning Center is one of the premier private schools in Guyana, and over the years, the school has turned in good performances at the CXC exam.
And that has brought us to the end of our news for tonight. For these and other stories, visit our website at rdproductiongy.com or our Facebook and Instagram page at Royston Drakes Production. On behalf of our news team, thank you for joining us, and join us again on Monday for more news. Good night.